Hello and welcome to the High or Lows podcast, Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play podcast set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your Dungeon Master, and with me is Lizzie McPherson,
Hey, lovelies.
Laurie Crawford,
Hey everyone.
ASHMEEDIA,
Hey, get out of the way and welcome.
Mimbo Wang,
Hey guys!
and last we've got Daniel Fletcher.
My arachnophobia has been cured.
Previously on the High or Lows podcast, the group had been travelling for hours through the underground mushroom forest while being pursued by mysterious phasing spiders. The area was crawling with small spiders and other bugs that was preventing any opportunity to rest, and Tweak had fallen victim to spider poison and was unconscious. As they forged ahead, a voice could be heard speaking in Goblin. Tweak had been awoke, and as the only one who could speak Goblin, he put on his diplomat hat and attempted to parley with this individual, who they learned was a goblin named Padrak Mushbloom. Padrak invited the group to rest at his farm, which the spiders tended to avoid. And due to the group's fatigue, they agreed to the offer. However, as they approached the middle of the farm, Baracus realized that Padrak was undead, at which point the penny dropped and combat ensued. Some lesser undead zombies joined the fray, but these were defeated fairly swiftly through good teamwork in general. And after defeating the zombies, the group were able to focus their attention on Padrak, who was discovered to be a goblin wight. Padrak managed to weaken the group somewhat with his life-draining attack, however was no match for the group once his zombies had been defeated. And we'll begin the episode here with the group injured, tired, deep in hostile territory, and with a long march still ahead.
Well, let's collect all the loot. I definitely have a crossbow for you in that hut over there, Tweak.
Crossbow, you say? That could be useful.
Yeah, did you say I nicked it off in mid-battle? It's bloody fun.
I had an undead trying to gnaw my face off, so I was a bit distracted.
How dare you ignore me?
Well, I guess we better bunk up somewhere. We could find something. I don't know. Would somebody like to have a look out and see if there are any other undead trying to infiltrate this area?
I'll go take a watch if you want. You guys can check out the gear here. I got everything I need.
Cheers, Kendall.
Yep, Candle will just go off and sort of... he'll actually climb up like a mushroom tree and sort of just take a look at from the top there.
He's
Cool.
a weird individual.
I heard that.
Good.
How do you mean?
Never met one of his kind before, and never met anyone with that type of personality.
Does that make him weird? I'm sure you've never met a tiefling before.
Not yet, up till now, but I'm just saying, out of the tabaxis that I've learned about, he really takes the cake.
Well, I've never met somebody that grew mushrooms from her body before.
Pretty sure from at least some person in this world's perspective, we're all bloody weird.
I'm not weird, and I pat the cockroach.
Doesn't necessarily mean not useful. Thistle, you've healed me several times. I would say that makes you useful.
I've never said I wasn't, but thank you for the compliment.
Weird, perhaps, but useful nonetheless.
Well, can I just thank Giznat? I think he's MVP. I think he did a very good job of controlling my my boa.
We should double his rations to 2 breadcrumbs.
You're absolutely correct. I should. I am
Yeah.
really tired, though. I don't feel well at all.
Well, I guess we should probably start looking around this place and see what we can find.
I'll take a look around. I did find a handful of coins in that tent over there. If anyone else wants to go looking around for valuables, there were some goblin tools in there as well. Quick. I don't know, you might find some more use where I saw none.
Yes, I could have a look around. I'm actually looking for some rope. I could use it for my snare trap, which could be very useful.
I'd pop into the hut that I brought that crossbow into and just walk out and give it to Tweak.
So I think that was the second nicest hut. Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So now that you're actually having a look around, you see, some goblins laid on the bed, like that are mummified now. They're just sort of desiccated corpses. Which hut did you check out, Baracus?
The one that had that had some gaps in it, so it wasn't me walking into an ambush. It had sort of like, it looked a bit more ratty.
Yeah. And you looked in one of the more ratty ones, and there was just a couple of there was a couple of goblins there on the bed laid to rest. You found some silver coins.
Some silver pieces, indeed.
Yeah, and I think there were some tools as well.
Were there any ropes that you saw?
I only spent a few seconds in there, Tweak, buddy, but I haven't seen any rope.
Let's do a full inventory.
Well, I appreciate this crossbow. This could be very good. Look at the mechanical devices on it.
Yeah, so you've got, just to go over the area again. So you're on like a raised stone platform. It's not that high off of the ground, and it's roughly circular, about 40 feet. And there's basically 4 huts here. There's the nice one, which Padrak was on top of. They're all pretty bad. Then there's the lesser one where you had the crossbow. And in there, it does appear... Well, it's not that it's lesser. They're all pretty much the standard hut, but they're in various states of disarray. So the one that you had the crossbow in, that one looks like there's there's quite a bit of stuff in there, and one of the goblins is quite well laid out. They actually look quite important. They're wearing a chain shirt, and they have a scimitar and a shield at their side. You also find a few gold pieces, 12 gold pieces and 56 silver scattered around that room. You find an engraved ivory smoking pipe. You find a couple of gemstones that look like malachite. They're not massive, but they're maybe worth 5 gold each. You find a nice sized gold nugget. It's about maybe quarter fist sized. But it looks like it's got they'll be worth some money. You also find there's a little vial with a little stopper, but it's empty. And there's also a small bell.
Small bell.
I could use a couple of those. Maybe the bell and the stopper could be useful.
Well, I think we found your shield there, Callum.
Yeah, I've definitely got my eyes on that.
Try it on.
What sort of crossbow is this? Is it a light or a heavy crossbow?
It is a light crossbow.
And are there any bolts?
Yes, there are some bolts. So you find about 27 bolts.
Heavy crossbow. I can barely pick it up.
Light crossbow.
Oh, light crossbow. Okay.
It was only a goblin that was using it. Well, a goblin white.
And 27 bolts, you said?
Were we able to recover any from the combat, or was that included?
That's sort of inclusive. You find them sort of scattered around the sort of grounds and on the white's body.
And I think sticking out of my shoulder.
And this is really just one hut that you were in. Then Baracus was in a different hut and he found some tools. So do you remember what tools I said you found? Or you weren't
You
sure?
said goblin tools.
You weren't sure what kind of tools.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, you'd have to sort of identify this. Maybe give me a knowledge check. Or actually, no. If Tweak was to go look at these, he would be able to identify the tools. You find they're a set of leatherworking tools.
I'll have a look at them.
They're old and they look like they've seen better days, but they look functional.
I guess I could use these, and if anyone doesn't want to object.
That's fine with me. If you do find some woodworking tools, I would love them.
Okay, that sounds fair. And what about you, Brackus? Are there any tools that you're specifically interested in?
No, none whatsoever. I think they're better in your little hands there, Tweak.
What about this chain shirt? This might fit you, Tweak.
Chain shirt, you say?
It's one of the lighter of the armors.
You could, yes, definitely offer some protection.
Yes, basically on the bed, you've got like a goblin. It's hard to tell without inspecting them, but two goblins, and one of them is like sort of got like chain shirt and like a shield and a scimitar at their side, and the other one is sort of just mummified, and you can't really tell what they were wearing anymore because it's all just rotted away.
Well, this will help me with my leather working. I was going to create this leather and cut it down to size for me, but I guess this chain shirt will just fit fine. It'll do the job. As long as it doesn't get in my way of casting spells.
Yeah, it fits. And so the shield is a bit small, but it looks, for goblin design, fairly nice. It's wood. Well, you think it's the mushroom wood. Actually, no. This would be like the top of a mushroom sort of rounded out, like your hand sort of goes in it.
Okay. Well, I might, in my downtime, I might just study it a bit and try and look out on the road, look out for mushrooms similar. Because I think Baracus was after a shield as well.
Yeah, if we should come across one, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so it essentially looks like the top of a mushroom that's sort of like, it's quite like curved and wide, like it's fairly wide, but still goblin size. It's more of a buckler for you. And then you can fit your hand inside and it's been treated both inside and out. And it's got like a little bit of metal riveted to the outside and also metal to hold on the inside.
But there was also the scimitar, if someone does want that.
I've already imbued my scimitar. Although
So-
this crossbow could be better. I didn't exactly do all that well in close combat.
He didn't do terrible.
I might work on this this armor. I think I need to protect myself a little bit more. Keep myself alive.
Yeah, if you want to change your armor, it'll take a few minutes. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like 5 minutes or something. The medium armor.
I'm not wearing any armor, but I'm looking to infuse my armor.
Okay, cool.
I don't think... Is that a short or long rest?
It's a long rest.
Well, if no one else needs that scimitar, I might just take it just for the option of slashing damage.
You could use this scimitar. I've infused it.
Oh, I don't mind either way.
Well, I think it could work better for you, and I mean, you're a bit more combat orientated, and I can keep this armor to protect myself and stand back and shoot from long range. I think an infused weapon is better in your hands than it is in mine.
Thank
What do
you.
you mean by infused? Can you infuse just weapons? Can you do it to armor? What does this mean?
Well, I can make some slight alterations to some weapons and armor, and these alterations infuse them with magical properties and, well, a bit of a kick, I suppose you could say, that gives them a bit more damage in combat or protective capabilities.
And you can do this to armor or shields as well, can you?
I believe I can, yes. I've never really experimented with shields, but I mean, the scimitar was the first of it. Seem to have done a pretty good job. It works well.
That seems very useful.
Yeah, definitely.
So you picking up the scimitar, Cal?
Yeah, I guess I'll swap the one that I found with Tweak, so he's still got a melee option, but I'll use his infused one for now.
Okay, so what are you doing with the scimitar that's on the bed?
I'm taking that scimitar, and he's taking my infused scimitar, which
Okay.
you will have to attune to, I believe. So just give it some meditation and some thought, and I believe it'll be a lot more comfortable in your hands.
So this other scimitar, it's got a quite good weight to it. And yeah, it's a fine weapon.
So what weapon do you wield there? I know you have got some magics. In terms of weapons,
I have a quarterstaff. What else do I have?
Well, you do that weird druidic stuff as well on that, don't you?
Exactly, yeah.
so you
So that's
prefer
probably
a wooden type of weapon then, do you?
well. Seem to be doing a very capable job with this. I mean, I don't know of any other weapon that I would be even better than what I'm using.
The best weapon is the mind.
So yeah, you've only really inspected a couple of huts now, and as amongst the leatherworking tools, you also find like about 22 silver, and there's basically just a couple of goblins here, just desiccated corpses. One of them is actually both wearing like rotting leather armor, but it's unusable at this point. And they also have a couple of rusty. There's also a couple of rusty scimitars and a short bow that is missing a string in that hut actually.
Could I take some strips of leather off that leather armor if it's rotten?
It's rotting. It's rough. It's very bad at this point.
Okay, so it's impractical to use.
Yeah, and so you still have 2 more huts on the platform.
Next one, I guess, then. This would be the third most damaged one, I guess.
Third, I think you haven't even checked out the least damaged one yet. You've only checked out the 2 middle ones, I think.
Oh, let's check that one, because if we're going to be resting, that might be where we rest.
Okay, so this one it is sized for a goblin. It doesn't look like Thistle would struggle to get in here while standing, because she is quite tall. And this one looks more Spartan than the rest. Give me a perception roll, perception will work.
Only a 12 here.
Yeah. Or weirdly, religion could work for this. Anyone else want to add a roll?
I guess I will.
Well, even with a 12, this one looks like it looks like it's been used a little bit more. And you assume that this is probably where the Padrak stayed of a sort. He did his undead sleep.
Well, I guess have a look around. He might have stashed something here.
Yeah, give me an investigation roll.
I mean, I'm happy to say that my bad perception was enough and let someone else roll.
We haven't rolled much dice yet. Let's play some D&D.
Could I try and poke my head in to have a look, despite the fact that I can't really fit too well in here?
You basically have to bend over. Like, it's only about 4 feet high, the top of the ceiling of this hut.
13 on my perception, by the way.
What'd you get?
13?
Yeah, so yeah, you see the same. Like, you can tell that there's something has been coming and going from this room, or from this hut. So you can just tell that it must be Padrak. Yeah, you can you can poke your head in and do an investigation roll. Yeah, you probably essentially have to crawl around it, Thistle.
I'm good with crawling. So we're doing investigation or perception?
Investigation for this.
That makes it 17.
Okay. You are sort of looking around, and then you sort of look under the bed, and you find a knife that looks a little bit ritualistic. It's got like a sort of snake curved blade, and it is made out of obsidian.
Okay.
And you find an additional 17 bolts. Crossbow to the crossbow.
17 bolts. Well, I crawl back out of there, and then I reconnect with the group, and I tell them about my findings.
Well, I mean, the majority are right next to you.
Well, I had to crawl in there to actually get around, and I'm crawling back out so I can straighten out because my knees are feeling a bit sore.
Is that an antheme in your hand there? It looks like something you'd use in a ritual or spell casting, perhaps?
Possibly. It looks quite expensive.
Would I know, Phil?
You could give me an Arcana check or religion check. Yeah, religion probably better. Oh, both work.
If I could do. Well, I've got history, Arcana, or what's my religion? Yeah, I'll go Arcana.
Sure.
Natural 1 plus 6, so 7.
I mean, sure, it's a knife. Maybe, I don't know. Knives used in magic sometimes. It's a knife, and it's made out of obsidian. Yeah, probably is like magical and used for some sort of ritual.
Definitely been used in some sort of blood ritual.
You wouldn't want to go into combat with that.
Have you participated in many blood rituals?
No, not as such, no.
Okay.
So yeah, and so you've got another hut up on the platform, and then you've got a couple of other huts there on the ground, but they are in very bad condition. It's probably another 4 huts are in sort of the ring of this stone, but they're all trashed. They're basically flattened.
Yeah, who knows if there's zombies in there or not. Well,
I mean, my question is, why would he give up his own goblin horde for undead? I mean, I guess if you want to enslave people, but really, it doesn't seem a logical trade-off.
Maybe it was an entrepreneur.
or maybe he died beside his fellow goblins and he was just brought back. I mean, Thistle was brought back. Could have happened to him.
I guess, but I mean, it just surely. Well, we saw the leader of this group, but who leads him? Who was his creator? Maybe a dark necromancer that was the owner of that dagger in your hand there, Thistle.
If someone wanted to give me a religion check, they could see what they know about this type of undead.
I'll do a religion check.
11 for
14?
mine.
14?
You know that there are vengeful spirits. If a person when they die has a particular vengeance, they can come back as undead sometimes. And some undead have control over other undead. Or sometimes things are just brought back. You're not really sure. You do think that this is a white. That you're not 100% sure of the magics involved with whites. But like it could be someone made this, or that they just cried out for desperation, or they made a deal, or it doesn't seem to be the same thing that's happening to you.
Okay. So should we move on?
Let's get some rest here. I think this will be the most secure place.
There's
that we've rested.
one last hut to check up on this platform. So we might as well quickly do that and make sure there's nothing lying in wait for us.
And does anyone else need those bolts in your hand there, Thistle? Or can you use them? Otherwise, I'll take them off your hands.
I was going to give them to you because I've got nothing to use them with.
That would be appreciated. I don't know how... I'd be interested to see my... Yes, I could use them. Let's put it that way.
Alright, so then I hand off the hand over the bolts to Tweak.
You got 39 bolts total.
And I reach up and pull the bolt that's sticking out of my blind friend's shoulder.
I think that was counted, but
How was it? 40.
The scimitar you picked up, now that you're sort of looking at it a bit more, it is silvered. It's catching it's just you definitely notice it's got like a different edge to it.
well, that'll be useful if any weird undead or something show up, werewolves or the like.
Indeed, it would be.
Touch wood that doesn't happen. Well, I could, like I said, could certainly use the rope. If we'll keep an eye out for that, and let's have a look at this next place.
So this last hut up on the platform is in pretty bad condition. Just give me an investigation roll as you it's barely a hut at this moment. It's mostly ruined. You can sort of like tweak. You could probably get in like a little bit of space in there.
I got 8. 2 plus 6.
Yeah, you can't really... You see, like, a bunch of rotted fabrics, and you can tell that there is another corpse in here, but you're not really finding anything of value. Does anyone else want to give it a try?
Sure.
Why don't you do yours with advantage? Because of things.
13.
13? Okay, so you're going through sort of the rubble, and sort of like where Tweak has sort of gone for the last little bit of insight, and you're going into the rubble, and you sort of sense that there's something with a more defined shape, and you sort of go in for that, and you start finding tools in the rubble, and you start pulling out different tools, needles, some thread that is actually still was in like a sealed thing, so it's still intact. You managed to get a set of weaver's tools.
Scoop them all up and just go, hey Thistle, catch, and throw them at her.
I quickly grab them in my hand.
Cool. You also find a few silver in there as well. You find about 13 silver. Cool.
You said a few silver that I grabbed. What, a few means 5? Handful?
I can't remember. I thought you grabbed about 10.
10, okay.
And I think that's how much more silver did I say was in there? I think I said that there was like 22 more.
There were 22 was the other number you mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was all from the same hut. That was all from the hut you were in.
53 silver from that
one. 53 silver?
That's what I thought. It was 12 gold and 53 silver, and we just added
56.
6 levels.
Yeah.
And so now what do we have all up?
Great. So yeah, you should have. There'll be more. Let's just. I'll give you a total right at the end, I suppose. So now you basically got like 4 ruined huts on the outside. You also see some crates by the stairs. There's 3 decent-sized crates.
I'll go over and look at those.
Okay. They're they just look like they're started to rot, but they're still intact. If you just wanted to like open them, doesn't look like it would be too hard.
Yeah, I'll just, stick my sword into the one end and pry one open carefully.
So let's say you pry that there's like two crates and one on top of that. You pry the top one open, and instantly you notice a lot of insect activity, and then large chunks of like this white material. Give me a nature check.
Nature. That's a 4.
So, you're not 100% sure what this is. It's something crystally that's sort of clumped together, but you've never really seen anything quite like this before.
Thistle, have you seen this type of thing before?
Let me have a closer look.
I won't take it out, but I'll have a look and I'll kind of pry it open again and lift the top of it.
Alright, so I make my way around Baracus. Can I do a perception to see if I pick up, or investigation to see if I know what it is?
Nature?
Or nature, even better. That's 19.
Yep. This is salt. It's salt that is clumped together in a massive chunks. And the bugs have gotten into and have been at and eating and living amongst.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with that. Just leave it. It's dirty, it's ruined.
I don't think it would be. Just cut away the outside, see what it's like in the middle.
We could, but I just...
Well, you're not the one who's eating.
Well, with your 19 nature, you know that some of this could be saved, but it would be a process.
Yeah, and I don't know. We need to be on the move quickly. We don't have time to sit down and...
We have a lot of time to sit down. I suggest we actually rest here the night.
How about the seconds it would take me to cast a purify food and water spell on it?
Hopefully that might make the process quicker.
Salt. Theoretically, you can eat salt. I wouldn't want to survive on salt alone.
But, I mean, salt makes everything delicious. So, salty mushroom stew, oh my god.
Okay. Yeah?
It's all good.
Okay, so all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point within your choice, within range, is purified and rendered free of poison and disease. I think it would make it safe to eat. It would not solve the bug problem and the dirt problem, or the clumping problem. But you'd know that once you get at it, it would be safe to eat.
Will the spell Prestidigitation fix the dirt/bug problem?
It would help the dirt problem, for sure. You'd have to do it in batches. I don't think it would help the bug problem.
Yeah, if we can...
I mean, the bugs are really just extra protein, right? Like, I don't know if it's a downside there.
Chuck, you are totally thinking like a soldier would.
I was trained by one.
As you say that, I reach in and grab a bug and eat it.
Tweak, you don't know where that's been.
Isn't your mechanical contraption run by a bug?
Yes, but he's my friend.
Give me a constitution. Just give me a Constitution saving throw, Fletch. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
20.
Yeah, you feel good. It's really salty bug, but like it kind of works.
That's not bad at all. I'm used to eating bugs and salts and so forth. This is normal to me. I think this salt could be very valuable too. It could be used. We could trade it. I mean, I remember in the goblin tunnels that salt was a valuable commodity.
We can find some sort of sieve or something. We might be able to get all the bugs out too. So,
I mean, this with your 19 nature from before, you would know that. Like, I mean, bugs. Sure, they'll go for whatever food is around, but they do have preferences. If you could get a hold of something sweet, you might be able to even entice the bugs away from the salt.
Okay. I start thinking of things. I start looking around and thinking of things, trying to think. Okay, what can we give the bugs?
Hyolos.
Highs.
You can't see anything around, and like all your rations are quite savory rations.
unfortunately, mushrooms don't have sap, so
I say we just eat the bugs. They're quite delicious. They've been salted already. I reach in and eat another one.
I shrug and pick one up and have a bite.
Right, both of you give me Constitution saving throws.
22.
7.
This second one is a bit too salty, Tweak, and it's just like you can keep it down, but you're just like like it's just like you got that like hardcore saltiness, like you swallowed a whole bunch of seawater in like the back of your throat.
Next person that eats a bug, I'm going to use Minor Illusion to make a very loud squelching noise.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was technically Callum. So yeah, when Callum eats a bug, there's just a big but it tastes all right. Protein and salt.
Yeah, these are all good for me. Well, I guess we should check what's in the other two crates. If there's just more salt, then that's a bit boring.
Indeed.
And the good thing about you, Callum, is you don't have to look them in the eye when you're eating them.
You say that, but I see them as clear as day. Not as detailed, I guess you could say. I miss colours. Colours used to be cool. But
So
yeah,
you go, Liz.
So you don't want to see the guts and all the crap coming out of the bug? You don't want me to describe that to you?
why would you need to? Even if I close my eyes, I can see it. I just don't see the colour of it.
I just walk away from Callum and Tweet because you're not meant to eat bugs. Bugs are a part of life.
So mushrooms.
I eat another bug.
I mean, Thistle, do you not eat meat?
Yes, but not bugs.
Bugs is just meat. Just crunchy meat.
You should probably get used to eating bugs. We're going to be down here for a very long time.
My great-grandmother would be so disgusted at me if I did so.
And as he says that, he eats a bug. And I roll a 19 Constitution save.
It's pretty good. It's a little bit too salty, but like it's not too bad, and like you keep it down, no problem.
You see me taking a small bite from one of the many rations we have in my pocket.
That is fair.
Do you want to add some salt to that?
Nope.
Come on, you're a soldier. I'm sure you've eaten worse.
Oh, I can eat it, but I have a perfectly good ration in my pocket here. I don't know what the bother is.
More for us then.
And I'll start trying to get into the second crate.
Okay. As you start opening the second crate, you notice a pretty bad smell.
I stop that for a moment. Tap my sword on the barrel. Tap tap tap.
Crate. Give me perception check with disadvantage. Or investigation, either or.
Would I recognize the smell?
Yeah, you can give me like a perception as well.
I mean, you should recognize your own smell.
I mean, can I close my eyes and avert that disadvantage?
Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, it's fine. Yes, it's fine.
11. Or if it's investigation, I get 16.
11. Okay.
16 on investigation.
16 on investigation. So it sounds. So from that, we'll say from the sound, it sounds fairly full. Yeah. Okay. What do you get for your perception?
11 for my perception.
Oh no. Ash. Where did Brax go?
Oh, I got 11 to find out if there's a zombie hiding in there.
So you don't hear anything moving at all. It's definitely silent. Nothing. There's no reaction. Like if anything, the only reaction would be like things settling a little bit, but nothing. No like additional movement.
Mm-hmm.
It does smell like dead things.
I don't think I'm going to open this. We've already got a camp here which we want to camp at and do not want to attract anything more to this place.
That's a good point.
I'm going to go for the third.
Okay. Just going to open it?
No, do the same thing. Carefully, kind of check it over.
Okay. You tap on it and you go, oh, that's not a very good sound. Like, give me a perception check. Although you might be figuring it out by now. What do you think it is from like bad sound effects?
Just go with the perception check.
What'd you get?
I think I might with a 16.
16? It sounds like it's definitely full of small bits of metal.
Yeah.
That are shaking against each other.
Figured it was some clanky bits of useful. Certainly not a zombie.
This is a zombie filled with metal.
We'll find out. I will start opening.
Okay. You open it up and it's filled with coins. And these ones are coppers.
A crate full. Or is it like half empty? That kind of thing.
It's a goblin-sized crate. It's got a fair few coins in there.
Tweak is visibly disappointed as he thought it could be something he could use for his contraptions.
Like, you suspect there could be up close to 1,000 coins, maybe?
Woo. Like an hour's pay? No, that's like a year's pay.
Yeah.
10 gold.
You're also not sure how useful coinage is going to be down here. But people tend to like coins, no matter where you go. Most of you are travelers that would know that.
I would say copper could be used very well for conducting electricity in my gadgets. I use it for wiring and so forth. I grab some handfuls of copper and stick them in my bag.
I think grab yourselves handfuls as much as you want to take. On raiding parties and things that we've been on in the past, we found treasures that we couldn't carry. Often just bury them, mark them, potentially to come back later, but take only what you can bear.
Yeah,
I'll take a handful. Saying that.
I mean, there's close to 1,000. If you're all taking less than 100, there'll still be plenty left by there.
I've taken 200 copper pieces.
That's a lot of copper, but yeah, that's fine. You just where are you putting them? I don't think you have a backpack. No, you just have a sack.
Got a sack.
A sack filled with rations and copper pieces, and a couple of pittons, I think, as well. Random stuff.
Yeah, light crossbows and bolts. Although I'd wear that on myself, I'd say. Got some hide armor, leatherworks tools, and a rudimentary map of the place.
Yeah. So as long as if assuming that other people aren't taking 200, then you can all grab a good handful of copper.
I don't know where to put it, so I wouldn't bother.
Fair enough. So you still have the third crate, which you didn't open, and then there are basically some hut ruins around the place.
I was thinking maybe we could chuck these at the top of the stairs and hit the stairs off a little bit.
We're not opening the third crate. Kind of curious.
I stand aside and you're welcome to look.
I won't lie, I am kind of curious as well. It did smell pretty bad.
Can I use my mage hand to open it from a distance?
It's still a crate, and it's in bad condition. You'd need someone to loosen it a little bit, and then you could do that.
Okay. Is someone willing to loosen it?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? I'll loosen it a little bit and then just walk away.
Even as you start loosening it a little bit, like the smell gets worse. But you don't hear anything moving around in there.
Actually, before, I'll just seal it up a little bit first. Am I able to pick it up?
You probably need to push it, or you need to help. You probably need Brackus or someone to help you, or Thistle.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Well, how is it on the side of the complex or like towards the middle?
It's by the stairs, so yeah, it's not in the middle. It's towards the edge.
Because yeah, what Baraka said before just came back to me that it might draw in undesirable kind of zombies or spiders.
Leave it somewhere else off camp as a beacon. A warning system, I should say, an early warning system.
Or maybe even leave it at the top of the stairs. If something comes up, they'll be like, ooh, food.
Definitely a plan.
Well, I'm going to work on this armor piece and let's get some rest, I think. Are we moving towards our possible friends soon? Tomorrow? How far are we? Actually, I'll walk up to what's his name? Candle guy.
He's basically climbed up a mushroom tree, sort of thing, and he's just perched up top. But you can sort of call out to him.
How long till we get to your friends?
I don't really know exactly. I don't know this area that well. I reckon we're heading in the right direction. I reckon maybe another probably 12 to 18 hours till we're out of the spider forest. I don't know. We might get lucky and find a quick way, or it might take a little bit longer. I don't know.
What kind of a welcoming committee can we expect at this place?
Don't really get too many of your kind. A lot of the people that were sent down here by your kind. So I don't know how that's going to go down exactly, but good luck. Baracus was it? He'll be fine, but he won't be allowed in the main city because they're assholes. But there's plenty of action going down in the Tiefling Quarter.
Perhaps we could pay them, maybe a toll or something.
In bugs, maybe?
What good is money down here, Candle?
Yeah, it's pretty much our barter system. Like, if you can find someone that wants coins, there are some people, but most people prefer something usable. But there's always types. There's definitely a couple of dwarves that love jams and gold in town. And like you can't like a couple like sometimes if with enough you'll definitely get a drink with it in the tap house, and beds in town ain't that expensive anyway. Yeah, I'd say when you get to town, it's likely that you won't be able to stay together unless you sort of convince them otherwise. That's why I don't like it that much, but they're the best, some of the best types, and it's sort of like a weird alliance between like 2.5 different places.
So they segregate by race?
Kinda, yeah.
Are there any known races down here?
Yeah, there are gnomes. Most
How about goblins?
Yeah, so goblins sort of separated with the tieflings over in the tiefling quarter. I've never seen anyone like her, so I'm not sure how that's going to go down.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of humans down here. Enough getting thrown down.
Well, yeah, they do. Most of them don't make it that far. It's pretty hard to see down here when you can't, and it makes living tricky.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bunch do make it. I get the impression that a lot of the humans have been getting picked up by those fellas over at Oasis, and either if they're strong, being used as a slave labor, or otherwise just being fed to the spiders.
Sounds like they have fun no matter what, then.
Sad. People over at Homestead ain't that great, but they're one of the better of the bunch down here. Some good people there. There's definitely some assholes, too.
I mean, that's everywhere.
You said it. So, we're gonna try to get some shut-eye, or what do you guys want to do? I don't know how long we'll go. Going marching. I don't know if I'll be able to keep going.
Yeah, and the spiders seem to avoid this place from what we've seen so far. And I don't think we'll find somewhere this defensible in the middle of a bloody forest.
How effective that might be now that what's that little fellow's name? Padrak is slain. I don't know. Was he connected to the protection of this place or not? Cannot say.
You can give me a religion check, Baracus. Sort of see what you have a vibe on.
That is a 16.
16. You suspect that it might be tied to him, but at the same time, like, ground can be sort of sanctified in different ways, and sometimes it is very much the ground itself. The spiders do come here, but like it's only like the occasional small one, and like outside of the broken stone wall, there are just like spiders just sort of swarming everywhere. Like even where Candle is sort of up on the mushroom outside of this place, like he's just like brushing them off regularly. It's not great.
I think if we were to spend no longer than an hour or so here, we should be fine.
I don't want to walk through the night. I think if we were to push on, that would just be a death sentence.
Alright, well, here's the plan. Since I'm unable to get decent shut-eye, I'll keep an eye out on things while you guys rest.
You do still need to rest. You just don't sleep while you rest. You still need to sort of have downtime. Even being on active watch is not downtime.
Well, at least then the boys can get some rest first, and then I can get some downtime when I wake one of them up.
Yeah. As I say, like most of you, you're hurt and you're injured, and it's been a long march, but you're still fighting fit for the most part.
And it's just a feeling I have. I think the ground will remain sanctified for long enough time for us to get a decent rest. We can keep watches, keep guard.
Well, it would be useful if we can try and get this on that map you have, Tweak. Like, if you can kind of make an estimation of where we are. If we're ever passing through this forest again, it would be useful to know that this is here.
Someone has cartographer's skills, otherwise it would just be like a straight intelligence roll. Or wisdom, I suppose. No, intelligence.
Well, I'll be looking at Tweak and Chuck for that no matter.
Or they can just look into it later. Okay, so you still have the sort of ruined huts on the outside. Otherwise, you've pretty much gone through everything. I don't know if anyone grabbed the gold pieces and like the trinkets and stuff. But hopefully, no one. Hopefully, 2 people didn't grab them, and somehow they got duplicated. We can figure that stuff off the pod anyway. So what are you doing? You've still got the ruins sort of on the outer off the platform on the ground level.
I'm kind of happy to leave them maybe until tomorrow morning. Like, on the way out, we can check them out. They got something in them. Sweet.
Okay. That's fine.
Do they look like they go deep? They'd be a bit of a walk.
The huts. No, there's like 4. They're just on the platform down. Like the platform is like 4 feet off the ground, and then there's just like basically where 4 huts have just collapsed, or in just right off that platform. It's right there.
Well, if you guys want to look, that's cool. But otherwise, I'm keen to start this rest.
No one wants to have a look, I suppose. So you're going to attempt to have a long rest.
I believe so.
Okay. And so you've got Thistle on first watch. So you're going to relieve Candle. Okay. Do you guys start going to sleep? So where are you going to sleep? Callum, are you going into the Whites thing, or like one of the other huts, or?
Yeah, probably the Whites one, because that was the best Nick one.
Yep. What about you, Baracus?
I might go to a bit more of a mid to high ground, and I will lay on hands myself for a bit of healing before I rest up.
Yeah, so you could. So basically, there's really no high ground around that you can rest at because of the bugs. Except you could be on top of the hut that Callum is in.
I thought about that. Will that support me quite readily?
I'd say so. Like, it's still been kept in like decent condition.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's see what happens. If I fall in, then only hilarity waits.
Well, if I see him climbing on top before I go in, I wait and see what happens before I just...
Oh, damn.
And were you doing anything with the crates?
I'd say, unless anyone has objections, I'll just drag them in front of the stairs and kind of build a shitty wall with them.
Yeah. So the platform is only 4 feet high, so it's not really stopping many things getting up. Nothing your height, but like it'll slow things down. Like it's not a bad idea. It's really just got to lift them up the stairs. They're right by the stairs.
Yeah.
And there were no ropes anywhere around, were there?
You haven't found any.
Yeah,
there are these 4 sort of just ruined huts, just around on the ground level.
Surely the huts were pulled together by some form of rope or twine.
It looks like that's what's gone in most of them to break. But yeah, sure. Like on the some of the other, like there's some twine and stuff on some of the huts, yeah. You'd have to destroy the huts to take that, though. I wouldn't call it like good hemp rope, but like it's rope-like material.
Good enough for his spell.
Yeah, I need 25 feet of rope, which the spell consumes.
Yeah.
So I will gather some of those and put a snare at the entrance there.
Like, I say, it's rope-like, not rope. If this spell requires rope, it would not work. Like, you could definitely tie things to something, but like you couldn't bind someone's hands with this material. Not in its current condition. It's more like twine, really. You do have rope though, like around. I'm sure there's a couple of ropes in the group. And there is still ruins that no one has explored.
I've healed up a bit.
Could you heal me too?
Sure. Not by much. Not as well as this one, I'm afraid, but I can. How bad do you look?
It's like big chunks hanging off me.
Look.
And I'm green.
I might as well use this before I go to sleep. I'll walk up to you and chant a few things under my breath and cast Cure Wounds on you.
I feel much better.
You want to roll the D8?
Oh, D8. Yeah, good.
Do you want me to roll, or should you?
I'm rolling. I just rolled a D6 by accident. So, well, same result. So you get back 4 plus 2, so 6 health.
Yeah, I'm at 9 hit points, and my temporary hit points are probably gone by now.
Okay. That's from like 8 or something, wasn't it? Probably. They probably are gone.
Heroism.
Yeah, that only lasts like an hour. I think at this point they'd be gone. What about you, Chuck? Where are you going to rest? So basically, you've got Callum and Baracus that have sort of taken over the White Sparrow. You've got this other one that's like the matriarch and patriarch of the tribe, it seems.
I'm gonna find some quiet place, curl up, and like sleep.
Okay.
Well, curl up and meditate.
Okay. So you guys begin a long rest. Thistle, why don't you give me a perception check for your first watch?
13.
13. Your watch passes pretty uneventfully. You don't really see anything. Like, there's still the spiders just swarming around, and like they're starting to come in like a little bit more, but still not so noticeably that you would notice. But you're sort of distracted by just like killing spiders and making sure they don't get to the rest of the group. But otherwise, your watch goes uneventfully. Who do you wake up the next watch?
I'm gonna wake up Chuck.
Okay.
Why
So,
bothering me, woman?
because, well, at least you're calling me a woman. I need to
When
get
have I
some.
called you a man?
I'm gonna ignore that comment, and
It's not a comment, it's a question.
I'm gonna ignore that question and say, look, I need to get some rest, or try to get some rest. Could you just keep an eye out on things?
Do you even sleep these days? I haven't seen you sleep for a while. Or forever.
I try to rest, or I try to get some downtime, so I'm a bit more fit for our travels for tomorrow.
Fair enough. How long have I slept so far?
You would have slept like 2 or 3 hours if you went to sleep straight away.
Oh, so not that long. I am groggy as hell.
Yeah, like you do have. There are other people there. Like you've got a group of 6 right now. So
That's true.
Well, when you start feeling a bit groggy or even more groggy, well, then wake somebody else up.
Sure.
Yeah. So what do you? So you're just going to take your watch solo? Okay, Chuck.
Is there another option?
I mean, well, you see Callum and Baracus over in one hut. You see Tweak, probably like just sort of curled up.
Can I wake his mechanical contraption?
It's always awake, so it's probably just guarding him. I imagine. Would that be about right, Fletch?
Yeah, it's just standing there guarding, pacing around, and Giznat's just like other controls is fast asleep.
I'm gonna throw food at it. Just see if it eats it.
Giznat's fast asleep.
I mean, your contraption, not the like cockroach that rides it.
Oh yeah, the contraption probably just stays there.
Oh, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't eat it.
No.
Okay.
The tricky thing is like, by pure rules, it can't do anything except for dodge. It's just like it probably dodges the fruit as you throw stuff at it, like actively dodges things thrown at it.
Interesting.
Chuck just spending his entire watch throwing rocks is the Steel Defender.
Yeah, pretty much.
Why don't you give me a Constitution saving throw to stay awake through your watch?
I don't want to fail.
And a disadvantage on perception, no doubt.
Wow, that is bad. 12.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You're like, it's not. It's been a long day, and you've been walking along very far, but that's enough to stay awake in this situation. You've got your activity of throwing rocks at the Steel Defender. Give me a perception check, though.
Okay, can I get one of my servants to? Wow, that is bad. What is that? That is a 1.
Okay.
Non-natural 1.
Okay. Good to know.
Can I get Jarvis, my valet, to iron my clothes?
You don't have an iron,
Okay.
but yeah, they could definitely find something to press it in. Yeah, they could give it a cold press.
And since there's no one else here, they can do their thing.
Yeah, they like, well, as long as Thistle isn't watching, but Thistle is sort of like having some downtime to herself. But anytime Thistle like looks in their direction, they immediately stop what they're doing. Okay, so with your perception check of a non-nat 1, you're managing to stay awake and you're throwing these rocks. And about an hour and a half into your watch, you hear a voice saying, "It's like a fly into a spider's web. We have you. It is time to give up the chase. Will you come with us to Oasis, or will you fight?" And I think we will end the episode there. That's it for this episode of the Higher Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at Higher Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Phoebster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.